morning, everybody. I can't ask for better weather on a day like this. Mid-June, you're always a little bit shaky as where we're going to be. So welcome to Tower Grove Park, where people of St. Louis have found common ground for more than 150 years. This is truly an exciting day, which many of us have been working on, dreaming about, and planning since 2017. There are many people and organizations we wish to recognize this morning, but first I want to give everybody a little bit of backstory and history that has gotten us to this monumentous occasion. In 2017, the park embarked on an intensive community-based master planning process that produced a roadmap for preservation and enhancement for the park, preparing for our 150th anniversary, which was last year. This audacious plan calls for tens of millions of dollars in restorations, enhancements, and endowments. Fortunately, St. Louis is one of the nation's most philanthropic cities, dating all the way back to when Henry Shaw donated this property to the park or to the city of St. Louis back in 1867. In 2019, the park's Board of Commissioners and invested community members quietly began seeking gifts for what we named Common Ground Campaign. This history-making initiative has raised over $14.5 million in project and endowment funds for the park, and we're not done yet. You guys can clap for $14.5 million. I'll let you. We're very excited. We've already completed a list of important projects for the community's enjoyment and benefit. The long-buried East Stream has been brought back to the surface in celebration of the natural landscape and the Osage people who occupied this land long ago. On the other end of the park, the West Gatehouse is now a picturesque home for the park's education and volunteer programs. Our community engagement coordinator shares the space with two Missouri Department of Missouri Department of Conservation naturalists. So they share that space together. And in 2020, we celebrated the historic restoration of the Turkish pavilion as well as the old playground pavilions, two of our Victorian-style structures that contribute to the park's National Historic Landmark status. More than $3.4 million has been added to the park's endowment in recent years. These transformational gifts leverage taxpayer support provided by the City of St. Louis, thank you, as well as generous membership gifts from individuals who add enjoyment to the 7,000 annual visitors to the People's Park. But today, we celebrate the beginning of something very specific and very tangible. Basketball courts are coming to Tower Grove Park. The courts were among the top requested enhancements to our master plan. I think bathrooms was about the only thing that beat it out. We proceed carefully with any changes to the historic fabric of the park. We appreciate the close collaboration that the State Historic Preservation Office and National Park Service provided during the design process, helping us protect the National Historic Landmark status that we have. Well-designed projects like this are ones that we're beginning today requires generous funding. In 2020, with the support of then Senator Nasheed, State Representative Meredith, and then Congressman Clay, the park applied for and received $250,000 in a Land and Water Conservation Fund matching grant. This program managed by our wonderful friends at the Missouri State Parks, who are here with us today. So we appreciate their efforts as well. With that commitment in hand, we went searching for the matching gifts. Even during the pandemic, a little bit of inflation crept in, but after a long, quiet period, we met several wonderful new community investors who are with us this morning who helped bring this across the goal line. The Vera Family Foundation's gift, championed by Andrew Vera, brought renewed energy to our work. And then shortly after that, we met Ruyowitz, who not only arranged a gift from his family foundation, but also worked with us to raise community awareness about this project, which led to gifts from David Eichhorn, as well as an additional campaign commitment from the William T. Kemper Foundation. So thank you, guys. These 4 gifts, combined with those of many other Common Ground campaign donors, have brought this monumentous occasion to fruition. It is now my honor to bring St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones to the microphone to help us celebrate this occasion for the people of St. Louis.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's so great joining you in Tower Grove Park this morning. As a former resident of the 8th Ward, my son and I used to come over here all the time and splash in the what is that over there? The fountain over there. I also taught him how to ride a bike in this park. So I have many great memories of Tower Grove Park coming up as a kid. I'd like to recognize our Parks Director, Greg Hayes, who's with us today. Also Parks Commissioner Kim Hagel, Bill Reiniger, Executive Director of Tower Grove Park, Brian Stith, Deputy Division Director of Missouri State Parks, Representative Peter Meredith, my good friend, Alderwoman Daniela Velasquez, and Danielle Spradley, representing Congresswoman Cori Bush. Give them all a round of applause, please. Our 108 parks across St. Louis help bring St. Louisans together, helping us find common ground with our neighbors and in our communities. Our city parks build a sense of togetherness in our city because people from all different backgrounds visit the park to walk, play sports, ride bikes, or just hang out. And Tower Grove is a crown jewel in our park system. From Saturday's Farmers Market to Pride in the Park to the International Festival, nothing beats summer in Tower Grove Park. Simply put, all of our parks should be as nice and beautiful as Tower Grove and Forest Park. Can I get an amen? Today's groundbreaking represents the latest series of great improvements to the park. It's the culmination of years of hard work by Tower Grove Park and its partners. And as the mother of an avid basketball player myself, he's 6'6" now. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to find him when I locate him on his phone more Saturdays than not. These courts will give our youth more opportunities to spend time together in a safe environment while enjoying everything this beautiful park has to offer. Imagine what kind of powerful signals this sends to kids like mine and across our city, that you are welcome in Tower Grove Park, and we're excited to have you as a part of our community. I want to thank the city's incredibly hardworking Parks Division, philanthropic partners who contributed to this project, the Parks Board of Commissioners for taking on this project, the Missouri State Parks, state legislative delegation, and everyone who came together to support this effort. These new courts will make Tower Grove Park an even better place for our youth and young people for generations to come. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. Before I invite up our next speaker, I would like to acknowledge representatives for 2 officials who could not be with us today. From Congresswoman Cori Bush's office, Danielle Spradley, and from Governor Parsons' team, Brock Timmons. Please extend our gratitude to Representative Bush and Governor Parsons for their leadership. I'd like to now invite Brian Stith, Deputy Division Director of Missouri State Parks, to say a few words.
Thank you. What a great day to be in a park. Can I just say I love my job? Not only do I get to work with all of the great facilities in Missouri State Parks with our natural and cultural resources, but we also work within the division to administer 2 federal grant programs, the Recreational Trails Program and the Land and Water Conservation Fund, that help communities, schools, counties develop opportunities for outdoor recreation in their areas, and this is just an example of that. I'll tell you a little bit about the Land and Water Conservation Fund, just kind of a brief overview. It is a federally funded program through the National Park Service. Eligible applicants, as I mentioned, are cities, counties, school districts for outdoor recreation projects. And those projects range, and this is not an all-inclusive list, but from playgrounds to basketball courts to swimming pools and splash pads, picnic areas, camping areas, restrooms. Somebody mentioned restrooms. Those are important. Believe me, those are important. And all those projects are eligible through the Land and Water Conservation Fund. It does require a 50% match, so 50% of the project has to be contributed either through donations and such, and 50% federally funded. And then the other stipulation is that all funded projects must remain in perpetuity for outdoor recreation purposes. So that means once you put it in, it's got to be available to the public for those purposes. So it keeps a longevity for the program, and hopefully generations to come will be able to come and enjoy these facilities and these basketball courts. This particular project is related to the 2020 round of applications, and sometimes it's a little bit of a process. And anytime you're working through a federal program and application, it can be a little bit daunting as well. And I wanted to recognize one of our staff, who is Patty Reed, and she's sitting right over there, and she's our outdoor recreation grant planner. And she works, that's her job. She works with communities, helping them through the process, helping them through the changes, the 106 reviews that take place in regards to the National Historic Preservation Act, all the processes, and then obviously, and you get into a project, you get changes in costs, and there's all kinds of things that have to happen in order to change your budget amounts and work with them. And she does so very well, and I don't know that I've ever received a complaint on Patty, because she's always so friendly and working with the staff and working with the communities to make sure these projects are viable and that they can get finished. So I just wanted to recognize her today. In the 2020 round of grants, there were 18 cities that received grants totaling more than $3.3 million for outdoor recreation projects. And Tower Grove applied for funding in 2020 for the construction of 2 post-tension concrete basketball courts with accessible walkways, low seat walls, and a drinking fountain. Funding in the amount was received in September of 2021, and then you have to go through all the planning and design. And here we come today to a great day of actually getting to break the ground and ceremonially and get this project moving and forward. And we appreciate that Tower Grove Park has made a commitment to the citizens of the city of St. Louis to provide outdoor recreation opportunities. These courts are going to be used by both, budding basketball stars like perhaps Mayor Jones's son, or someone like myself who always played basketball, loved playing basketball, was never a star, but I enjoy a pickup game every now and then. So we're just excited about the opportunity and about the opportunity to work with the city of St. Louis and communities all across the state for great projects like this, and just appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to be here today. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian. I enjoy a little basketball myself. Unfortunately, my 14-year-old son is killing me at this point. It's a little embarrassing, but still fun. Get to spend a little bit of time with him. Before we move on, also want to acknowledge Megan Green has joined us today. Would you like to say a few words?
I'll keep it brief, but just say that it's very exciting to be here today. Prior to being president of the Board of Aldermen, I represented Tower Grove South and this portion of Tower Grove Park for 8 years. And when Bill first came to me back in, I think, 2017 about the vision for the basketball courts, I said, yes, we got to make this happen. How can we make this happen? And I know that this is something that residents in this area have been wanting for a very long time. I think we have to recognize that, beyond the health and fitness component to this, there is also a racial equity component to this. And as many communities have been taking out basketball courts over the years, I'm very proud that ours around Tower Grove Park is saying, no, we're going to put them in. And we recognize that we need a broad spectrum of recreational activities out there for folks to be able to engage in. And then this is just another step in making Tower Grove Park one of the gems, not just of St. Louis, but nationally. We won the, I think, Twitter Twitter award a few months ago of the Battle of the Parks across the country. And I tell anybody that comes to St. Louis, you've got to go to Tower Grove Park. It is an amazing park, from the history, from the amenities, from the beauty of the trees and and all of the agriculture that we have here. So I'm elated to be here today. I'm so happy to see this project moving forward, and can't wait until it's finished.
Thank you, Megan. So I'd like to bring up Representative Peter Meredith. He is Missouri's 80th House District, which includes Tower Grove Park. So a dear friend to the park. Peter? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good morning. As everyone else has said, you really couldn't ask for a more beautiful day to be in Tower Grove Park, especially in a hot St. Louis summer. You don't get days like this that often, and this is incredible. I wanted to echo some things that have already been said, really. I grew up in this neighborhood over in Shaw. Like Mayor Jones said, I learned also to ride my bike in this park. I learned to drive in this park. So did all my siblings. I came and played soccer here. I went to tennis camp here. This park was at the heart of my childhood. Now I live across the street on that side of Grand with my 3 daughters. We're over here every day, enjoying the incredible beauty of this park and all of the things it has to offer. I couldn't be more excited about what's been happening here. Just walking across the street and enjoying a concert on a Friday morning for kids, and then walking right around the corner from that and enjoying the naturescape that's with the new stream that's been put back in. I mean, it's just gorgeous and incredible. But I do have to say, as Megan just said, the basketball courts are more than just adding an amenity to this park. It's about a much deeper history that we have in this neighborhood, in this community. When Bill first came into this job, one of the first things we talked about was a need for basketball courts here. Back a decade or a little more than a decade ago, when basketball, when I was growing up, was a big thing over at Melanphy School. Every day there'd be kids and young men out there playing basketball all hours of the day. I went over there with the neighbors on my block, and we played on a regular basis. That basketball court got removed on safety reasons, but there was a lot of racial issues involved with that. That decision was not just about safety. And it became a pretty hefty conversation for the community about what is right, for how we make sure that all kids in our community have the activities that they want to participate in and play in, and show that everybody is in fact welcome in our neighborhood and our community. And the fact that our park didn't have basketball courts highlighted that. And so I could not be more excited to see this coming in here for the sake of this community, but also for the sake of my own family. My girls love basketball too. My daughter is not 6 feet tall, but she is 48 inches as of this year, and she is she's a basketball star actually on her team, and even playing with the boys a year up, she is amazing. I guarantee you we will be walking down here many days a week in the summer next year playing basketball, and it will probably only take a year before she's beating me as well, because that's how it goes. But that's what this park is about. It's about all of the families that live in these communities around here, and all of the ways that we can enjoy this park, all of the ways that our kids can enjoy it, and all of the ways that we can tell everyone that they are welcome, and everybody is welcome in this park every day. So I'm excited to be a part of it today. I can't wait to be here for a ribbon cutting when this is actually open. It's about time, and I'm thrilled. So thank you all so much for all of your support in this process and helping make this day come to happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Before we move on to the moment which we've all been waiting, I just want to quickly acknowledge members of the Board of Commissioners for Tower Grove Park. As I look around, we've got our Board President, Bob Hurlith, our Vice President, Bob Holmes, Secretary Emily Martin, our Common Ground Campaign Chair, Mike Conzen, and members, from what I've seen, I don't want to miss anybody, Ted Atwood, Anna Crossland, Susan Lammert, and Cheryl Walker. They are my bosses. They help guide the park and help us out in the community. So thank you guys for everything you do for the park. All right. I think we're going to do a check presentation, and then we're gonna move some dirt.